Before we start today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to Buzz TV. Man, Buzz TV has some really good devices, man. Like this last year, they've come up with some good stuff, and this new year, I'm excited to see what they got.
Yo, it's going to be straight fire. Some devices and features, because I don't want to say one or the other. With Buzz TV, it's hand in hand. They've dropped some fire devices and some amazing features that are always taking things to the next level.
So don't forget to check out the description below.
You know, no matter where you guys are listening, watching, whatever from, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, that like, drop us a comment, and the reviews actually help us a great deal. If you're looking to do anything for us in this year coming and beyond, the reviews help other viewers like yourself find this podcast and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. And with all that being said, let's start the show.
And welcome back to another one.
I swear, once I finally set up my Roadcaster, I'm going to find a sound of a bus running something over, and I'm just...
Oh, man. So, yeah, welcome back to another one, guys. This is going to be a really fun and unique conversation. Some people are some of you's peoples I've been talking about investments and stuff like that. So we're going to try to give you guys a crash course. Now, with that being said, check the description below because we'll leave links to all this stuff. So check the description below. We're going to be going through a spiel of things. So I'm going to give you guys the list of what we're going through. So that way you guys don't jump ahead or don't leave when we start on one, because it's going to be several of them. So we're going to be talking about Acorns, Coinbase, Shake Pay, Webull, Wealth Simple, Robinhood, and Cash App. So we're going to be talking about several things here. So anything you got to add before we begin?
We are not financial advisors. We are not telling you what to do with your money. We are only giving our opinion, personal opinions. It's up to you guys to do your own research, your own DD, whatever you want to call it. These are only some of the options that are available out there. This is not all the information that's out there. And this is kind of like your speed dating version of these topics. So it is what it is.
I like that. This is your speed dating of options that's available. Yeah. Speed dating investments. Here we go. Okay. So first one we have is Acorns. Now, Acorns is an app that grabs your change and rounds it up to the next dollar. How does that help you in any way possible? So let's just say you go and you buy a soda and it costed you $1.99. It's going to grab that 1 penny to round it up to the next dollar. So it's going to take that 1 penny and then invest it. Let's just say you buy something and it was exactly $10. It's going to round up to the next dollar, right? So because $10 to the cents is zero, it's going to put a full dollar into whatever it's going to invest in. So this is how Acorns works. It just grabs those pennies and investment. So I have my app here. And I know it's kind of hard because of the glare and all that stuff. So it says good morning, and there it is, you know. There's different ways of earning money. So from here, it says like there's just some apps here that you could use. So I'm going to see if I could turn down the does that make it any better?
Yeah.
Okay. So here you have like some of the stuff that you could invest in. Or not invest in, where they invest in you. So, for example, let me move it over here. There you go. If I go to Chevron, this one's Chevron. If I go to Chevron, I could earn 25 cents. they'll actually invest for me and put 25 cents into my account. If I buy stuff from eBay, I earn 1% of my sales. 1%. So you can see the app right there, eBay. So you just scroll around and sometimes they'll add more stuff. Here's Grubhub. There's Groupon. Like Groupon, they invest 5.04% of whatever you buy. So it's pretty neat. Hotels earn 2% of whatever you buy. Instacart deliveries. There's so many things that you could invest on. Earn 250. Macy's, Nike, Postmates, Sam's Club, like a lot of stuff that you can invest. Now, with that being said, I'll tell you this. You could also set it so every week you could put in $5 away, or you could do it once a month, put $5 away, $20. Like you could do however you want. And it tells you, like for me, the way I have it set up is every time I put change away, as soon as it hit $5, add an extra $5.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how I have it set. So it's pretty neat, you know. Now I will tell you this. I started doing this about let me take a look here when I started doing this. I have like my little performance thing here. I started doing this back in December of 2017 of grabbing my change. Now, the cool thing is since I started doing this and grabbing my change, I put my portfolio. You could put your portfolio to conservative, aggressive, like just certain options. So depending on how you do it, like see my portfolio is aggressive.
Yeah.
What it does, it puts on large company stocks. It puts 55% of my change there. 30% goes to international company stocks. 10% goes to medium company stocks, and 5% goes to small company stocks. Now, and of course, you could always change how you want to do all this, you know. Since I started in pennies, I've already made almost $3,000. Almost $3,000. Just let that sink in. This is just me grabbing pennies, and I've been investing about $5 a week.
Right.
And I just changed it to $10 a week every Monday, $10 a week. Now, this is what I really really like about this app. It could show you your potential depending on how you're doing it. So on the top right hand corner, there's this thing where it just says potential. You click on it,
right,
and then from there it just says how much you can make. So it's telling me my return by the time I hit 68 is $125,000. My investment is only $38,000. You know. So, do you guys have anything in Canada, something similar to Acorns?
So here's the thing. I have a feeling that as we go through these lists and you start talking about some of these apps, I'm going to be comparing a lot of what you're talking about, the features in them, to Wealthsimple. So Wealthsimple itself does have features like that involved in itself, right? So it can round up your dollars, it can grab it, it can put it whatever you're investing into, like a stock portfolio that they would manage, and you can pick from there if it's aggressive, passive, like what are you saving towards, a house, like whatever it is. And it does the same thing where it shows you, you know, by the time you're 68, you're potentially going to have this much in the bank due to compounding interest and stuff like that. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of variation when it comes to our investing market. There's a lot of, you know, variation when it comes to the actual financial institutions. However, on the free market, it's just Wealthsimple that I really know about right now and that I've really used. Outside of that, I haven't really heard of any other companies that have really been doing it.
Okay.
Here, at least.
So if you have this app anywhere out there in the world called Acorns or something where it grabs your change, it could be something that you could really look into because, shoot, you know, who doesn't like money? like, like it's literally like putting it into a savings account, except the difference is this app will grab your change, invest it for you, and you get a return.
Right.
They work with you. They have these other options here too, called like early for kids, spend smarter, later starts today, invest in your future. Like there's different types of options that you can choose from, and the app is super simple. The way it works is once you set up your app and your account, it says which bank account do you want us to connect it to.
Mm-hmm.
So then it looks at your bank account. Every time you spend money, it sees it and then it rounds it up, and it'll take that change from it. So it's very small. You don't really feel, unless you're spending like a grip ton of money all the time, you really won't feel it.
Just in general with these kind of applications as well. So I did the same thing with Wealthsimple, where I put aside, I actually set up, it was like something like 250 every 2 weeks. And I was doing it for a long period of time. And I did it until I hit 5K, right? But even still, when you're just doing it with pennies, people are going to say, well, what does me just saving my pennies do? Look, Rohas for the last 3 to 4 years saved pennies that he would have thrown in a jar and probably lost or got stuck underneath the seat of his car. It's just more convenient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our change jars have been made into a virtual digital place that can make us compounded interest now, right? It doesn't make sense to use change jars. And I had a conversation about change jars with one of my friends last night, and that's why I'm bringing it up, right? You look at it every day, you throw change in it, but it does nothing for you.
Mm-hmm. And actually, that's a good analogy, because I remember as a kid, we had that 5-gallon jug of water that we would throw our pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, whatever. And what's interesting is every time you walk down the street, you see a penny, you don't pick it up.
No.
Unless it's a quarter, you're like, ooh, quarter.
Ooh.
Yeah. But when you look at this change, you're just like, you don't really care for it anymore. You're just kind of like, whatever. I don't, just pennies. I don't need to pick them up. But yeah, like you said, this was at the end of it was December 2017. So let's just call it 2018.
Right.
19, 20, 21. So 18, 19. So 3 full years. I've done this for 3 full years, and I'm now going into my 4th year. At the end of the year will be my 4th year. 3-4 years, I have almost $3,000 saved. How, did you ever have a coin jar that you're like, I have $3,000 sitting in that 5-gallon chug of change, I guess,
It's all about working smarter, not harder, right? It's a lot easier to work an app on a phone than lug around a 5-gallon jug full of pennies. I don't want to do that. I don't think you want to move a 5-gallon. And who wants to count all that? What are you going to walk into a bank and dump all those pennies out? If you're still dealing with the change jar, this is 2021. Stop. Just stop.
There's smarter ways of doing it. This is a really, really good one, because it could, it invests in yourself, and it puts a little bit away. And you don't have to do like $5-10 a week. You could do whatever you want. You could make this thing like, I want $100 a week, a month, or just do a one-time payment. Like, hey, once a year, put in $100. You could do it however you want, which is great about it.
Now, I just want to, I guess, end my story with, I did that. I did it up to until I made $5,000. And then what I realized is I was only making about 10% on my money. So I took it out, and then I reinvested that into the stock market, in which I was able to do 120%. So when people say, oh, I'll never have enough money to invest in stocks, or I'll never have enough money to do this, people don't just wake up with money one day. It just doesn't appear. It's not growing on trees, even though you have money trees. It doesn't work that way. You have to start somewhere. I even have conversations with my kid, and I'm like, listen, if you put away $5 a week, even if 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you only have $500, that's the difference for some people from living paycheck to paycheck to making an initial investment and starting to break away from that cycle.
Did you know in 2020, every 17 minutes, there was a new millionaire?
Wow. But this, I'm going to ask you this question. Let's see what you say, okay? Is it really a big deal to be a millionaire, to have $1 million in assets, not cash flow, assets and cash flow, like everything. Your net worth is $1 million. Is it a big deal?
I want to say yes, because like just for retirement, just to look at, like, you know, a lot of people's goals, like they're like, hey, you know, like think about this. The first 18 years of your life was just you learning, playing, like no responsibilities, no bills, nothing like that. Like you were literally carefree. Like for you, your biggest headache was making sure you turned in an essay at school, or then you're going to get grounded. You know, after that, think about it. Between birth to freaking 18 years old, maybe 17 or 16 if you're a smart ass, that's what you had to deal with. And for you smart people, I apologize. I'm a smart ass too. But think about this. And let's just bump that up to 20 just to make the math even easier. From 1 to 20, you're carefree. As soon as you're of age and you're out of high school, let's just call it 20 years old. We'll give you 2 bonus years. We'll call you a super senior times 2. But let's just say from the age of 20 up until, and we'll do the math easy, we'll do 60. How many years is that?
Starting from when? 18 to 60?
20 to 60.
20 to 60 is 40. Come on now.
40. Easy. I'm just trying to do easy math here. So the first 20 years, carefree. 40 years, you're working your butt off. And then let's just say you retire at 60 up until whenever. By the time you hit 60, like, you know, some people are kind of active, some people are still kind of doing stuff, but you're not as active like as if you were in your 20s or 30s or 40s. So for the majority of your life, you're working. And for me, when you're asking me the question is like, is $1 million in assets and money and everything that you have, is it worth it? Your network? Yeah, I absolutely, I think so. It is. I think. And you know what? Eventually, I know people say like, oh, $1 million don't even last that much nowadays. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're taking all these first class flights all over the world and you're buying Teslas like once a month or whatever, dude, yeah, $1 million ain't going to last that long unless you're smart with your money. But you need to have some sort of investment, because with Social Security, with 401ks, or with whatever it is that they're promising you, so that way you can retire. And remember, I extended it. Instead of saying 18 is the cutoff, I said, let's say 20, you're carefree. And I said, let's say you retire early at 60. You're really busting your butt off for the majority of your life. So yeah, if you have $1 million, dude, you could easily go somewhere, buy a house cash, and then just be conservative with your money and just don't blow it, and you could retire with it.
Now, it's probably different in the States than it is here because prices and economy and stuff like that. So when I say $1 million, I'm thinking obviously $1 million of my own currency, which is probably about 1.3 million, 1.35 million in this. Sorry, the other way around. 1 million Canadian dollars is probably about 700,000. Wow, I can't do math today. 700,000 US. That should be a clip. Where's Bittersweet? Anyway, so that's like me asking 700,000 US if that's enough. My problem here is that real estate, on average, in the city that I live in, a home goes for about $800,000. So if I had $1 million in assets or net worth, 800,000 of that is the property that I own, because I'm going to want to have that paid off so that I'm not paying mortgage payments as I go into retirement, right? Yep. So if my net worth is only a remainder of $200,000, that's not going to get me anywhere. And that's where I have a problem with my current, I guess, where I live in my currency, right? So if I say, can I retire with $1 million net worth Canadian? My answer is no. So like when I had a conversation with my son the other day and I said, do you think being a millionaire, like that means something, like that you have some kind of status? And I'm like, everybody who's going to retire is going to have to be a millionaire, at least in the country we live in, because real estate is going to continue to go up over the next 40 years, right? So that real estate that you have, maybe you bought it today, but it's not going to be valued at the same in 40 years. I mean, I hope that it's worth more.
Yeah.
But we have to be mindful of all that stuff, right?
Well, I'll have to ask you this though. What if you moved 3 to 4 hours north of where you live?
Right, but it also depends on the size of my family, who's living with me, what I'm using the home for. Because what we're seeing a lot in the market right now is people are moving away from the densely populated cities, which are more expensive per square foot, moving an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away, getting a cheaper place, but buying it for the same price and getting bigger property because we're working more and more from home now. They want to have a home office. They want to have a YouTube studio. They want to have this. They want to have that. It all depends on what are your priorities and what you're willing to be creative on how you cut your finances back. 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. Do I want to spend $800,000 on a house? No, I don't. I don't.
Well, if you come to LA, 800,000 won't get you much.
Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian or anything. It won't get you much. You like LA, you're looking at 1 point some million easy for a little studio condo. Yeah. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about here is Coinbase. I know we went on a little bit of a rant, so keep up with us, guys. Coinbase. I guess next level, you want to explain exactly what Coinbase and cryptocurrencies are?
So cryptocurrencies is a digital currency, right? So their value is in relation to supply and demand on a virtual blockchain, and they are created by a process called typically mining, where people are doing complex algorithms with their computers, and it produces coins on the market as well as helping to complete transactions and stuff like that. That's the technical part. All you need to know is it is a digital currency, and it is growing more and more in popularity, where companies are now starting to accept purchases and payments in cryptocurrency. Coinbase itself is a place where you store your wallets, I believe, because I personally don't use Coinbase, but they have wallets where you can have different kinds of cryptocurrencies inside of it. And the way that I explain it, because every kind of cryptocurrency inside of your Coinbase or your whatever you store it in, because for instance, I use personally Exodus, which is something similar to Coinbase. Every kind of cryptocurrency that you have in there is going to have its own wallet address, its own key. And I explain it like you can have a bank and you can also have a Canadian account, a US account. You could have different currencies inside of there. And every one of those different currencies has its own bank account and its own bank account number. So inside of your Coinbase or your Exodus, you're going to have your Dogecoins, your Ethereums, your Bitcoins, and they're all going to have their own wallet key inside of that, which is your account number that's specific to that coin.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys Coinbase right here a little bit. So that's kind of how it looks like. I know it's kind of bright again. Let me turn down the light on this thing. Whoop. There you go. So there's Coinbase right there. The cool thing about this is I'll go ahead and click on Bitcoin. It gives you kind of like a number of how much it's worth and then where it's been going within the market. If you come down just a little bit, it'll show you guys here what your wallet is, how much you have. It'll give you a description about Coinbase, and it kind of gives you like where the market cap is, the volume and stuff like that. So pretty nice. And at the bottom, it gives you some news and some of the currencies that it correlates to. So like Litecoin, Wrap Bitcoin, Golem, like a lot of them, wherever, depending on where it moves, that's where this is going to move also. So with Bitcoin, like for, I guess, Coinbase, like they have a lot of different ones. So you got your Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Stellar, Chainlink. There's a lot of different options here that you can choose. And what it's very similar to like buying stocks.
Mm-hmm.
You buy whatever it's worth, and then hopefully you make a profit. The one thing I will say, the difference between stocks and crypto is very unpredictable. It will shoot way up and it will shoot way down. And some stocks do the same thing. Like you could buy, let's say, a Disney stock and it's worth like $100. It could all of a sudden grow up to like $1,000 throughout the day. And maybe within a couple days, he'll shoot down to 500 and then he'll shoot right back down to 200 and then he'll shoot down to $80. Like it could do that.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is kind of like a more of a 24-hour thing where it just overnight, like this, people are trading all night, all day. There's no closing. It just goes. And the crazy thing about it is that there is like, so far what I've seen is that there's no, I don't even know what the word is. There is no such thing as, I don't know, like leveling off. It doesn't like Bitcoin is not going to go like, hey, it's worth 10,000 and then it's going to worth 10,020 and then 10,005 and then 10 and then 9,000. It doesn't steadily go up, down, up, down, up, down. It's basically shoots up and shoots down, shoots up and shoots down.
Yeah. So I guess if I'm trying to think of it like looking at stocks, you'll see stocks that does something that's called like testing the line of resistance. So it'll go up and it'll kind of sit around that line, but it'll kind of like slowly increase. You're still going to have a line of resistance when it comes to cryptocurrency, but it's almost like the average of its volatile peaks in between. Like it's going up and down at a very, very more volatile pace because of the actual market, the market caps, and the amount of people that are trading consistently 24/7 with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So this stuff could, like, you could get a really good payout and you could lose a good amount. Now, with Coinbase, you do have to set up an account. You got to show them your ID. You got to fill in your information and set up your bank and all that stuff. And then you'll get a limit. It gives you a portfolio of how much you're worth in there and what you have. It gives you the prices of all the stuff that you could trade. You can't trade with everything. Like Dogecoin is not on there. There's another one called Dodo, which I wish I could buy. I wish I could have bought it before. I've been looking everywhere to get Dodo, and I can't find an app where I can get it yet.
Dogecoin?
Dodo, yeah. Dodo. But they don't have everything on there, but they do have all the big ones, all the major ones, and they have a list of where you can get it. So with Ethereum, Bitcoin, some of these you could also mine. You could mine them. That's a whole separate topic. But with Coinbase, it gives you the options to buy I think they give you a limit at first, and then they open the floodgates as within time. But I'll be very honest, man. Like when we've talked about this in the past, and we've been making predictions about, dude, this thing is gonna go up. Bitcoin almost hit 65,000 last night, and right now it's sitting at 63.5. Ethereum back in November, December wasn't even worth 1,000,
right?
And now it's over 2,300. So I would really highly suggest looking into some of this stuff, and don't think this is a quick get rich and we're done. Like this is something that you got to sit on it, let it do its thing, and you'll get a return. You just have to be patient and just let it do its thing. But remember, just as much as something can grow, you could also lose it. So Coinbase is more of that. You could be like, oh, cool, I'll put $1,000, and you're just like, oh, I just made 10 grand. Next thing you know, that 10 grand could go down to like $100.
So Coinbase is a place where you would keep your wallet. So all of your different coins, right? So there's a lot of different platforms out there where you can do this. Rojas uses Coinbase. I use Exodus. And every different one is going to give you opportunities to have different kind of coins. So when you are interested in certain coins, my recommendation is to make sure that whatever platform you're getting involved in has access to the coins that you want. Now, every platform is going to be very different, and there's no issues transferring your cryptocurrencies from one platform to another. You just put in the wallet keys and it goes from one wallet to another on another platform. So I could transfer from Exodus to Coinbase or Coinbase to Exodus. I will say though, I started with Exodus, and from my I guess using it, it is very basic. And from my understanding of Coinbase, Coinbase does give you a lot more information, right?
Mhm.
The ease of use, Exodus is super simple, but Coinbase gives you a lot more information from what I've seen. So I'm just saying that I use Exodus because that's kind of what I've always used. I am changing how I manage my crypto within the next week or two, but I'm not going to get into all that right now.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your research, you want to make sure that whatever wallet platform you're using, if it's Coinbase, if it's Exodus, if it's Binance or wherever, that it has access to the coins that you want. For instance, Rojas is trying to bring Dodo back from, extinction, and he can't find it. Sometimes these coins are starting off on very, very small platforms, and then they're moving. So they could be something on, I think, Unity or Unify or whatever they call those things. And then they move to other platforms from there. So,
yeah. So yeah, check out Coinbase. I would highly say if you're going to be looking into it and you don't want to spend too much money, Ethereum Classic is worth about $21 right now. Coinbase also has, if you want to spend just a little bit more than that, Chainlink is worth about $38. Stellar Lunar is worth 62 cents as of right now. Litecoin is $2.69. And if you want to get into the Bitcoin, but don't want to get into the 63,000 mark where you're just like, where is this going to go? Bitcoin Cash is worth $830 right now. So I would recommend, if you could afford to buy one full coin of something, do it. The Chainlink, the Ethereum Classic are probably the easier ones because you're just like, that's only $20. Just remember, $20. If it goes down to $10, your one coin's worth $10. If it goes up to $40, now your one coin's worth $40. So if you're more comfortable with some of the bigger ones, we're just like, I got a couple thousands to put on. Start looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin moves in very small percentage increments, so that's how much you'll get. But you never know. It's random. Literally, it could be Dogecoin that's worth 7 cents all of a sudden goes up to like 13 cents. Right now it's worth 13 cents.
And it hit 14 last night.
So that's what I'm saying. It could jump up pretty big or it could be very, very small. So you just got to be patient. Be patient.
100%. Now, I do want to ask you. So we have where we store our wallets for our coins, right? But then you have to take, if you want to put that into USD or into your bank account, you have to transfer to what's called an exchange, right? So what do you use to transfer your money from, not money, but your crypto from Coinbase to your bank account? What's your exchange that you use over there?
My Coinbase, as soon as I pull it out, it goes straight into to USD, and then I could pull that directly into my bank.
So then they have their own built-in exchange. That's cool.
Yeah.
So here we don't really have something like that. And the reason I say that is because your Coinbase gives you wallets so someone can pay you in crypto if they wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So in Canada, we have Wealthsimple, and Wealthsimple has the opportunity to buy crypto. And I'm going to put that into quotation marks because people think that they're buying crypto, but they're buying the idea of crypto. You don't actually get wallet keys. Wealthsimple does all of that stuff, right? But they also have crypto side of it, which allows you to buy crypto, but you don't own the wallets to it. So you can't buy and sell within the crypto. you can just transfer it to your account. So it's like you don't really own it. However, ShakesPay, you have the option of having a wallet key for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it. And you can exchange from there. They are our exchange. They give you the opportunity of having either an Ethereum wallet or a Bitcoin wallet, and they actually give you the keys. So you can buy and sell and transfer from your bank, but with only those two coins. That's it, right? That's the only real ones that I know about in Canada. But again, I haven't tried Coinbase, and I don't know if Coinbase will transfer right into a Canadian bank account. So the only ones that I know about personally is ShakesPay, and they only deal with those two coins. So potentially I could, in my Exodus, transfer all of my Dogecoin to Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then move Ethereum or Bitcoin to my ShakesPay, which then I would transfer to my bank account. But that's the only ones that I really know about. They do have an opportunity where you gain a little bit of interest by just opening the app every day and shaking it. It's kind of a cliche thing because they want you to open it and buy, and then they get charged those fees, and it is what it is, right? So
ShakesPay.
Yeah, I keep saying ShakesPay.
Yeah, ShakesPay. So ShakesPay, what cryptocurrencies are available?
Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it.
Does it have anything else? Any other stocks, or just that? That's it.
That's it. We're very plain Jane over here in Canada. We don't have all the fancy features like you guys that do out there.
So how does that work?
It just has the charts. That's it. You can add funds, but it only has the charts. That's it.
So it gives you charts then. It gives you some information.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like news or anything like that? Because
nope. No news.
So anybody out there that has ShakesPay, that app sucks because it gives you nothing.
Yeah.
No information whatsoever.
But even Exodus doesn't really give you news. I go to Yahoo Finance to get my news.
Yeah, with this one, with Coinbase, it gives you resources.
Yeah.
And it gives you information on what people are doing. Like this one, Forbes News, 13 hours ago.
Yeah.
Republican House leader doubles down on Bitcoin as counter to China. Like it gives you news and articles, so that way you could kind of know what it is. But you're saying ShakesPay is the closest thing in Canada
to an exchange. That's how we get the money to our bank accounts. That's we don't really have too many options to get the money to our accounts right now. Now I hear that PayPal is starting to allow it in Canada now, but I haven't tried it yet. So that's all I can say. I don't have very many ways to get the money to the account. I have wallets where I can buy and sell crypto like Exodus, and I could use Coinbase too, but I'm pretty sure I can't move Coinbase or Exodus directly to my account. That's the problem in Canada.
Got it. Okay. So the next one I'm going to bring up then is Webull. If you guys don't know what Webull is, Webull messes actually with stock and crypto also. You can actually do a lot of stuff with this. So let me see if I could turn this one down. With Webull, when you first open it up,
it's going to look at this app.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
It gives you like United States. Here we go. It gives you United States. It gives you crypto. It gives you global. Gives you a lot of information here. And as you scroll down here, it just gives you a lot of stuff, a lot of information here with all the different stock markets, like top gainers. It gives you a list here, the top losers. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the light back on. So I apologize if whoever's watching the video, I know it's kind of hard to actually, that doesn't look too bad right there.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
So the cool thing about this app, it's kind of the same thing where you can set up a watch list, and you could connect it to your bank, and the cool thing is yeah, like for me, for example, I created my own watch list. So I have a watch list here. I got like ADT, Genworth. I got Greenland Technologies. I got Bitfarms, which Bitfarm, I don't think I can't buy anything from Bitfarms. Some of them you can't buy, some of them you can. So with crypto, if you want to do this one, crypto, you can't buy it, like Dogecoin says here, this cryptocurrency is not tradable on Webull. Like it'll tell you if it's available or not available. But the ones that are available, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, XLM, and ZEC. I haven't heard that one before. But it's kind of like the same thing as the other one, the Coinbase. The only reason why I even use Webull is to get stocks, like normal, just regular stocks. I don't use this one for crypto. I stay Coinbase for crypto. So the cool thing about this one too is it kind of says, hey, you know, claim some free stock. If you spend X amount of money, we'll give you some stock. And what's funny is I've actually made $5 on some of their free stocks that they gave me, you know? So I was like, hey, cool. Free money's free money. ADT is one of the free stocks that they gave me. And then Genworth Financial is another one that they gave me.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. I got into Greenland Technologies only because, again, here's one of my failures. The thing was worth like $2. And I was like, let me get on it. And then I was just like, cool. I finally got approved to buy. So I bought it when the thing went up to $23. And it dropped to $14. And then it dropped to $12. I bought in when it was at $12. And then it's been selling averagely about 14. So I'm hoping it jumps right back up to 22 or 23 so I can get my money back and get out of that market, that stock. So I think I have 33 shares of that stock. So as soon as it gets back up to where I could at least call even, I am going to get rid of it. But the other cool thing about this one too is when you look at the different markets, like this one, top gainers, Discovery, it says right here, 43% gain. If you click on it, the cool thing is it does give you like the chart here, and it gives you like quotes, news, commerce, comments, analysis, and you'll see people's comments saying like, hey, this thing is going to keep going up or this thing is going to keep going down. It gives you a lot of information, which is, I was kind of hoping your ShakePay gave you some information too. Like, hey, this is what it's doing, you know? So it has a profile about the company. It tells you the financials of where it's been, first quarter of last year, second quarter of last year. It gives you all the numbers so you can see exactly where it's going. They really give you the tools so that way when you do make a decision on where you want to go, that it won't, you won't like kill yourself with like spending too much money than losing all that money. They also have a community tab. This community tab is actually pretty cool because it gives you like streams. It gives you all the different news, competition. It gives you a thing about all the different companies out there, top news, 24/7 watch list. Like this app, Webull, has everything.
It's amazing.
All in one. Yeah. So
we don't have fancy apps like that over here. So with whatever app I'm investing with, if it's crypto or if it's with stocks or whatever, I use Yahoo Finance with like in combination with everything to get all the information that you would get in one application.
You do a lot of work over there. Okay. Wealthsimple. What is Wealthsimple? What can you do? What does it do? What can you invest? I know that's a Canadian one. So,
yeah. So
give us a feel.
Wealthsimple is like our Swiss Army, right? Because you have Acorn, you have Robinhood, you have Webull, you have what other ones have you mentioned here? Cash App. All of those things, that's our Wealthsimple. So Wealthsimple has a way of transferring money from one person to another. So that's our Cash App, which is our Wealthsimple. And then it has a way of trimming the fat off your purchases by taking the extra pennies and investing it for you, like Acorn. And then it has the ability to trade stocks and to buy crypto like Webull, like Cash App, like Robinhood. Wealthsimple does that too. And unfortunately, it's the only one that I know about in Canada that is commission free. That being said, it doesn't give you the opportunity to trade outside of the market. So you can't do pre-market or aftermarket. Its times are 15 minutes delayed in regards to stock prices. So that's why I still have to use Yahoo Finance. They just came out yesterday with a beta paid program where $3 a month, and it'll give you up-to-date pricing, but it's stupid. So I still use Yahoo Finance, which is free. We kind of get like pity plays and applications and features compared to the stuff that you guys get in the States. But they do have some really good stuff for anybody that is looking to get into investing in Canada for free, because it's commission free, right? So as long as you start to understand your tools, like using things like Wealthsimple and Google and doing your research, then you can apply all of that into Wealthsimple and make some decent money. Because I'll be honest, I've learned a lot from investing through the services in Wealthsimple. So you can do like what Rohas was talking about in Acorns. You can also do where you invest, you pick a certain amount a week, a month, or whatever, and they will manage your portfolio for you and buy a certain kind of stock or portfolio and show you your chart as you get older and older. They also have the options that you can buy your own stocks. You can buy them in 2 different accounts, which is actually 3 different accounts. You have your personal account. Then there's also the ability to do what's called here in Canada a tax-free savings account. Now in Canada, you can only put, I think the limit is $6,000 a year into a tax-free savings account. So, when you start to set up your accounts, it walks you through getting a lot of that information and kind of telling you how to use your account a little bit, and they would guide you into which account you can use, but you should all be doing your own due diligence as well. So the trading of the stocks is commission free, but it's not always the fastest compared to using a bank. But banks, they will charge you $10 every time you buy and you sell. So majority of the time when I talk to people about getting into this stuff is if you do the work, unfortunately, we don't have apps like Webull and all that stuff on your side. But if you do the work using things like Yahoo Finance and Wealthsimple, then you're able to save a decent chunk, a decent buttload of money.
Nice. Cool. So, and I did forget to mention, Coinbase does have a charge also.
They have a couple services they offer, right? And,
yeah.
And it's funny, I'm just going to mention this real quick, but my limit buy on Coinbase just went through.
Nice. You're like, yes. Yes. All right. Robinhood. Robinhood is the only app that I found so far that does Dogecoin. So I actually got Robinhood. So right now everyone's probably wondering, okay, you got Acorns to do your pennies and grab your change, so that way you're investing. Coinbase is your Ethereum. That's where I have my stuff. I have Ethereum and Ethereum Classic.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do my Bitcoin too. Webull, that's when I'm doing my regular stocks, and now I'm doing Robinhood for my Dogecoin because that's the only one that has Dogecoin. Now with Robinhood, it does have like a cash management. You have like an investment. You have your cryptocurrencies. You have your regular stocks. You could do a search and just browse. Like if you want like crypto or tech stocks, healthcare stocks, like anything like that. I pretty much took everything out. So I only see my Dogecoin. Now the cool thing too is it has this wallet that has like cash management, and you could earn 0.3% APY. You could do the FDIC insurance, full flexibility. You could do options. I know options is a little bit scary. You could do ETFs. There's like a lot of stuff that you could do with this thing. So, personally, for me, and of course, I have all the coins in here that I could see. So I know the screen's white, so it's going to be kind of hard to see, but there's all the numbers right there. The cool thing is these numbers jump constantly. So I like how it works because that way I could see exactly how it's going. But yeah, and the other ones I have here is Tesla and Disney. You know, I am very interested in those two. But the only thing is sometimes those apps don't move as fast as some of the cryptocurrencies.
100%.
You know, so
100%.
for me, if you want to do stocks, I would recommend Webull over Robinhood. If you're looking at like if you want specifically Dogecoin and you're over here in the States, then Robinhood's really good because it'll give you that access to get it.
Now, here's a question for you. So
Yeah.
the reason why I have things like ShakePay and Exodus, and I kind of have my Bitcoin and my Ethereum in there versus keeping it in my Wealthsimple is because Wealthsimple doesn't give me the wallet keys for if I was to buy crypto inside there. Does Robinhood and Webull give you wallet keys if you were to buy Dogecoin or whatever it is? No, they don't, right?
No, they don't give you a key. You just you click on it just like a stock, you buy it,
Right.
that's it.
So for those of you that are looking just to buy it to have it, then options like Webull, Robinhood, Wealthsimple, those are very, very user-friendly ways to get into it. However, if people are looking to buy into Bitcoin or Ethereum and then eventually use it to transfer it to someone or make a purchase from wallet to wallet, those are not the applications for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, the last one we're going to bring up here is Cash App. Cash App, which is crazy because it's kind of like a Venmo where you could pay people and receive money. And they have an option here where, so it says,
remember when I told you and you were like, what?
Yeah, I was just like, seriously? Because I got money sitting in there all the time. I'm just like, okay. They have that you could purchase Bitcoin and only Bitcoin. You can't do any other crypto. You can't do you can't do stocks. You can't do anything at all. So let me check. Let me open this up real quick here. So literally it says, and there's nothing. This is kind of like your app. Like there's nothing. It's like, it's nothing. Literally, it's like, here's Bitcoin.
Here's the chart.
You have a wallet. You have to do the verification, send your ID, and it takes them X amount of days. I've been waiting for them to freaking clear this thing for like a week. They're just so slow. So you could send to Cash App user, or you could just cash it out yourself. But like I just said, the verification process on this thing takes a while. So once I finally got cleared, I'm like, dump my money in there quick so I could actually do something. It has Bitcoin limits. You could do 100,000 per week purchase. You could purchase 100,000 per week, sell unlimited. You could deposit 10,000 per week. You could withdraw 2,000 per day or 5,000 per week. There's a lot of rules on this thing. Display units, it gives you how much a Bitcoin is worth. So one Bitcoin is worth, right now it says 62,000. And then it gives you a little bit like Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. It gives you like a little tiny description, but that's it. It doesn't show you a chart of where the money is going or how it's doing its graphs or where it's coming from or nothing like that. So it's kind of like your apps. It's very simple, very basic. Nothing there's nothing in there. You could add cash. So once you connect it to your bank, you could pull money from your bank into Cash App and then move it into your Bitcoin. You could move the money out from Bitcoin into Cash App and then into your bank. So it's like a couple steps to do that. Coinbase is something similar. Like, actually, all the apps are something similar like that. You have to bring the money in, buy whatever you're going to get. And then once you're done, if you're done or when you're done, sell whatever you want and it goes into your wallet. And then from there, either buy something else or send it to your bank. So Cash App is very, very, very basic. There's nothing fancy. It's literally Bitcoin. That's all they're doing. That's all they're gonna do. So it's very simple. And yeah, I was surprised when you told me about Cash App. So
Now, that verification process and all those limitations that you were talking about is all part of the FinCEN, which is the financial regulations mandates that these companies have to go through, right? When they're dealing with places like, let's say, Coinbase or Binance or Exodus, they're not really governed by a specific place. And that's why they're able to kind of have a little bit more of a lax regulation. However, with Coinbase being publicly traded now and partnering with Visa, you never know what these governments are going to be planning or trying to do. So remember, if they're giving you these kind of regulations, it's not because of them, it's because of what they have to abide by as a company as well. Now, I wanted to add to that, Cash App allows you to trade Bitcoin from Cash App user to Cash App user, right?
Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't give you a wallet to say if you wanted to buy a Tesla with it. So it's almost like a lot of these companies that do the commission-free trading, they offer you the ability to like lease cryptocurrency. They have it and you have the value of that block, but you can't do anything but cash out.
Right. Yeah. So I want to start this next segment. This is the last segment. Recommendations. What do we recommend you to do?
Okay. All right.
So we've talked about all the different options, and we gave you tons of options. Actually, like you could get stocks, you could get crypto, you could find them just about everywhere. The only one that we didn't talk about was Exodus. That one's a little bit more complex. You have to it has like the ID numbers and all that stuff. Like once you understand it, it's easy. Some of these actually all of these apps make it like stupid easy. You link it to your bank, put the money in, buy, sell, that's it. Some of these other apps that I know, like with the wallets, like how you're saying, like where's the intermedium and where does it go from here, there. We'll probably do another episode. And maybe even we'll go through the process of how to set it up and go through the whole process. So I wanted to see if we could actually talk about, not too long, maybe a few minutes. Like, what do we recommend? Personally, and this is a big if, Ethereum ever goes down, if they go below $2,000, buy.
If it's ever going to hit that again.
Yeah. Right now it's over $2,000. It's 2,300. If it goes to $2,000, buy. I don't think it's ever going to go under $2,000. And if it does, it might be like 1,900 or 1,800. But again, it could easily go down to like $800 again. You never know. You just never know. The way this stuff is growing and the way people are predicting it, they're saying, and mark my words on this thing, $20,000 by the end of the year that it's going to be worth. Is it going to hit it? I don't know. Were people saying like it's not even going to hit 2,000 next year? They said it won't hit it, and we're in April right now, and it hit it. Bitcoin is a little bit squirrely right now. If you invest into Bitcoin, you have to invest a good amount of money to see a return on that thing, because I feel like Bitcoin, I think if you miss the boat on Bitcoin, I think you've missed it right now.
You know what I use Bitcoin for? I use Bitcoin as I would use a cash account. So it's a little bit more stable, a lot more stable than all the other coins on the market. Mm-hmm. So if I'm buying and selling, let's say, okay, so here's a prime example. If I buy Dogecoin and because I'm a short-term investor, I never stay in something longer than, maybe 2 or 3 months at the most. But with cryptocurrency, I'm even shorter because how volatile it is, right? That's just personally how I am. So if I was to buy Dogecoin at 7 cents and Dogecoin goes up to 14 cents, then I would sell at 14 cents, but I'm not selling that to my bank account. I'm selling that into Bitcoin. And then I use it to hold the value until Bitcoin potentially, hypothetically, drops back down to 8 or 9 cents. And then I might go back into that one or choose another coin. That's just how I use my Bitcoin right now. But eventually, you know, you're going to have companies that are going to be accepting Bitcoin as well. But at that point, if you have other crypto coins, you can transfer it into your Bitcoin, and you can, you know, the world's your limit. You have so many different coins to do whatever you want. But I look at Bitcoin as being like my digital gold because it has that stability right now compared to the rest of the crypto market.
Yeah. And I will say that Bitcoin is a little bit more stable when it comes to the rest of them, because that's everyone's trying to buy that one. Like that's like the big one right now. I would really suggest that looking at some of these smaller ones, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Stellar. Like there's several out there that are worth either $1,000, $2,000, maybe $500, $800, maybe even $20, and as low as 12 cents.
Yeah.
I would jump on this bandwagon before it's too late. And literally, like people miss the first wave of Dogecoin, and some people miss that second wave of Dogecoin. I caught onto this third wave when it was sitting about 5 cents, 6 cents. And for this thing to jump now, I call this the fourth wave right now of Dogecoin, just because of how much it was worth like 2 years ago versus a year ago versus Christmas, December of 2020, and now. And you know what? I think I just have a weird gut feeling this Dogecoin, we haven't even gotten started yet. Especially if Elon Musk is very serious about the Tesla and buying with Dogecoin. The Mavericks, Mark Cuban talking about using Dogecoin to buy tickets. Like if they're serious about it, like I have a feeling this Dogecoin is going to be, it might not be worth as much as Bitcoin, but keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. I think it's, like I'm saying like by the end of the year, it's going to be $1. 10 years from now, that thing's going to be worth some stupid amount of money. So I would say right now is the right time to invest. We were 20 years ago when we hit the .com boom. A lot of people missed it. I would say 10 years ago when there was that Transamerica where people were getting their health insurance and life insurance, people missed certain waves of that to make investments. We're in a new wave right now of a new type of investment called cryptocurrency that some people are nervous and scared about, which you should be.
That's what you call the FUD, fear and uncertainty, and doubt. FUD.
Yeah.
You got that FUD, that Elmer FUD.
That Elmer FUD, yeah.
Other kind of recommendations that I do. So cryptocurrency is what's considered to be a market, right? Now you also have, like, if you're playing stocks, you have oil, you have food, you have travel. These are all different markets, right? I'm very passionate about how the crypto market is and how much potential I see in it. And I do my research on my stock plays with the information from cryptocurrency. So if I see, or if I believe, and I do my research in a certain crypto project, because a lot of these crypto coins are put together to back certain projects on the blockchain or to further certain developments in regards to, programming or some kind of code or some kind of software or whatever it may be, right? So I use a lot of that information to do my research into my stock plays, because you're going to find a lot of companies that are either diversifying their assets in their portfolio with some kind of coin or mining some kind of crypto, right? So for instance, if a company says they're going to start mining Ethereum and Ethereum jumps up $1,000 a coin, and now they're sitting on 1,000 coins, it's only reasonable to assume that that company is going to be worth more in value and that stock is going to go up as well, right? So make sure that you're doing your research, you're understanding what's happening, what's hot out there, and how that applies to different sectors when it comes to investing.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have learned something. I know we're trying to give you guys a little bit of information here. Next Level has a group that he talks with stock about. So I'll let him post that information in the description below. Check the description below because we always leave links to stuff. And yeah, anyway, it could help you guys out there with your investments in your future. This is where it's all about. Like this is how you get this stuff. So yeah, any last words before we get out of here?
You know how I say it, man. Like, we got so much good content that comes out that covers so many different topics, from, entertainment to the next tech that's going to be in your pocket, in your hand, to the next company who's producing the next thing that you want to own. The conversations are great. They're enjoyable. You guys like them. You're always giving us good feedback. So make sure that you continue to support us by giving us that thumbs up, those comments, subscribing to the YouTube channels and the podcast, leaving us those reviews so that other people can find the same things and the same podcasts and content that you're enjoying as well. That's it.
That's it for show. And yeah, with all that being said, stay tuned to the next episode because you never know who's going to be here. Peace.